Now, Fiat aren't necessarily known for their sports cars. When you think of Fiat, it's more likely to be a rubbish, rusty old hatchback that you had as a first car, and even when they do try to do something sporty, it's usually badged as an Abarth. So you might be surprised then to find out that there was a fairly quick, sharply styled sports car that was sold exclusively as a Fiat. No, it's not the 124, it's this Coupe. No, that's literally what it was called, the Coupe. Don't worry, the car was more interesting than a rather lazy name would have you believe. We'll start with how the Coupe came to exist. At some point before 1992, Fiat had decided that it wanted to produce a new coupe that would be built on the Tipo Due platform. It might seem odd now, but affordable coupes were big business back then, before hatchbacks and the crossover menace killed them all off. There were two designs that were put forward for use. One by Pininfarina, who were dormant and struggling after the disastrous and disastrously expensive Cadillac Alante project that was finally shut down in 1990. The second was by Fiat's in-house design team, headed by none other than Chris Bangle. Bangle's daring and rakish design was the one that was eventually accepted, but the much more elegant Pininfarina design was actually used by Peugeot on the beautiful 406 Coupe. Now, the Bangle BMWs are controversial to say the least. I personally like them. But the unusual rakish styling actually really suits this car and does a very good job of making it different from everything it was competing against, and everything since in fact. The Coupe was officially launched in 1994 with 2-litre 4-cylinder 16-valve engines that could be had in naturally aspirated or turbocharged form. These units were actually taken from the legendary Delta Integrale, which is certainly a good place to start. Unfortunately, these cars weren't four-wheel drive like the Lancia, but front-wheel drive. Still, judging by reviews at the time, this seemed to be an adept driver's car. This isn't the most interesting version of the car though, because in 1996 Fiat introduced 3 new engines. A weedy 1.8 that we'll ignore, but 2 new 5-cylinder 20-valve units, which were available in turbo and naturally aspirated form. The one I'm going to focus on is the best of the lot and the most famous, the 20-valve turbo. Now, as well as being the fastest coupe, the Turbo was also the fastest front-wheel drive car in the world when it was launched, with a top speed of 155 miles an hour and a 0 to 60 time of 6.3 seconds for the final versions of the car. To allow the car to reach these speeds and put its power down, it was fitted with a then very advanced limited slip differential as well as fully independent suspension, which was becoming the norm about that sort of time, but it wasn't on every car. This all culminated in a car that was still a little twitchy. It would be impossible to make it perfect in those days, but still able to be fun. Combined with a turbocharger that was designed specifically to help reduce lag and low-speed acceleration, and you end up with a rather appealing driver's car, especially for the then low asking price of £21,000. Now, despite me featuring it here, the Coupe was by no means a disaster, with a total number of 72,762 cars being sold during the car's 7-year lifespan. One of these, a red limited edition, actually belongs to a certain Michael Schumacher. You might then wonder, why do I have it here if it did so well? The thing is, the car's just fallen into obscurity nowadays. No one talks about it anymore. When small coupes are mentioned, conversation inevitably wanders to the Audi TT or the Ford Racing Puma or the various Japanese examples of the breed. A shame really, because like I said, despite being front-wheel drive, this was a genuinely fun driver's car that had real sports car pace if you opted for a turbo model. It being an old Fiat has probably put some people off because of reliability and rust-related concerns. Because that's fair enough, these concerns are well founded. It is relatively unreliable and very rusty, I won't deny that. The advantage of all this, however, is that the prices are very low, and if you're in the market for something fun that's a bit more interesting than a Golf GTI or a Mini Cooper S, I invite you to look no further. So, if you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more and want to support the channel, consider leaving a like and subscribing. Hopefully you've had a great day or night or evening or wherever you are, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.